Okay, so as I said, if you sew up your basic block, it's not something that you're actually going to wear. It's just a template where you, for example, can create a top like this from. I just got this from my closet. It's something I bought, but I can very easily use measurements from this blouse to incorporate into my basic blocks the same way as I did with measuring the pattern and then measuring my body and then see how it looks. But now I use two different pieces to get measurements from. So instead of using my body, I use clothes that I already know that I love wearing to get measurements and apply that to my basic block. So for example, same spot, I just keep using the same spot to make it easier for you. Place it flat as you can, and then with my measuring tape, I'm literally going to measure the width at the bust. It's 43 centimeters halfway. No. I'm going to measure the bust, as I did before. It's 44 centimeters halfway, and then I will fold it in two. It's 88 centimeters. So then I get my basic block. And as I measured before, the original line was 88. I changed it because I want my basic block to be perfectly fitted. So now I'm adjusting it again because this is just the template that we are going to use again and again and again. So I would trace it again on a new piece of paper and do all the adjustments on there. So instead of using the blue line, I will, for this pattern, if I want to create a pattern with the style of this blouse, I will go for just the black lines. Let's do another one because this might be a bit confusing because that is exactly the measurement that we used, that the original basic blouse was. Another measurement that you can use is, for example, the shoulder width. So place this and close the button. And then measure from shoulder to shoulder, which is this point to this point. That is 38 centimeters, which means that half of that, if I would fold that in two, is 19.5 centimeters. So what I measured halfway from here to here on the pattern, you just find the spot that you measured on the pattern so you can incorporate that measurement on there. On the pattern, that would be, if you look at it like this, half of the clothes, it would be from your center front until your shoulder point. What are the odds? That also is 19.5. So I don't have to change anything about that as well. But if it would, for example, be 22.5, then I would see that my new shoulder point should be here. So then I would mark that and create the pattern based on that new measurement. And why I like to use clothes that are in my closet, as I said, because I know how this fits me and I know what this looks like on my body. So I already have a very visual outing of what I am going to create. And if I would choose to not do the gathering here because I just don't want another blouse like this, then I can skip that because I'm the designer of the pattern, so I can decide what I do and what I don't do. And yeah, that is how you can use your clothes as a guide to create patterns that you like. Another very common measurement is the length. You measure that always from your highest shoulder point, which is this point, and then grab your measuring tape and measure all the way down. Or if you want to know how high your waist is, measure that till your waist, that's 31, and then measure further down, it's 50. So you can mark like, hey, okay, on this pattern, 31 is the waistline and then 50 is the total length. Then I go back to my pattern and measure from the same point, highest shoulder point, that is here, is this on the pattern. Measure down, 31 is the waist, so I can mark here waist, and then measure further down, 50. So I would need to add length to this pattern if I want to base it on this length. Same with the arm, for example. If you want to recreate this arm side, you can take 2 measurements as well and try to lay the piece flat as how it would look on the pattern. So you see that the arm side is curved, so you are not going to measure it like this because this is not the form of the actual arm side on the pattern. The actual arm side on the pattern looks like this. So measure from your high shoulder point until that point, and that is 18. And you can also measure it rounded because that will be a different measurement, and that is 24. So then again, I will grab my pattern, measure it here. So from this point till this point was the first thing I measured. That was 18, it's only 15 here. So that would mean that on this pattern, my arm side will be higher in my armpit. And if I want to adjust that, I'm going to measure 18 and then mark a new spot right there. And then also measure it rounded. That 24 also comes a bit further here. So then I would mark a new point there and create a new arm side based on this top that I already know how it sits. Once again, I hope this is clear for you. And those are the most common measurements that you can use. So the length, the width around the armpit and the arm side, because those are the spots that a lot of times are important for us and for how a piece fits us. Sleeve length, I think that one is very logical how you can measure it. You measure it from your highest point all the way down. And one more measurement that you can take is the bicep, and that is from your armpit point until halfway of the sleeve. So here, because it's halfway, you have to fold it. It's 32, and then you can place that around your arm and see if that would be a good fit for you. Like that. So I think that would be good because this is a fitted blouse and I want to use that.